It's September. 2025 is almost over. But what if I told you you could still utilize these last 4 months to have a very productive year? In this video, I'm going to show you how I use AI and tech in order to create a roadmap for the rest of the year. So I've been creating roadmaps and creating plans my whole life. It's how I accomplish big things in my life, like getting my dream job or getting back on track with fitness. But now with AI, we can sprinkle a little magic on it just to get a different perspective and to help us fine tune our goals. So let's get into it. So the very first step is what I call the brain dump. And I want you to get a piece of paper. It doesn't matter if it's online or if it's a physical piece of paper, and just basically write out everything you're feeling. It could be very messy. It could be like, I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I don't know what to do next. I have this to do, that to do. I don't know which one I should do. You can write out some stuff you accomplished this year, some stuff you did not accomplish this year. If you're not sure where to start, you can look at your vision board if you created one at the beginning of the year, or you can just kind of write what comes to mind. And that's what I did. I ended up writing like a page and a half of just different thoughts that I had. But this brain dump, it's supposed to be messy. It's okay if it doesn't make sense. This is just an activity for you to do. And by the end of it, I promise you, if you're completely just honest in this process, you're going to learn something about yourself, or some thought that you had that was a little bit buried. You're going to feel a little bit of a release, because that's always what I feel after I do something like this, because it's like the very first step of kind of like acknowledging where you're at. I think it's so easy in the day to day to just focus on what's in front of you in that moment. So you kind of don't take the time to dig deep about what you're truly feeling. So this gives you the space and the time to do that. Step 2 is putting this brain dump into an AI chatbot. And I know that can sound scary if you're someone that doesn't use AI. I definitely recommend this to anyone, is to go through your brain dump and make sure there's no personal information or anything that you don't feel comfortable sharing. So definitely remove those. Also, some AI chatbots have like incognito mode. So if you want to use that as well after removing personal information, I definitely recommend that. But what we're going to do is I have this prompt. So we are at gemini.google.com. This is a free AI tool that you can use. And this is the one that I use for my own fall reset. So it's long, so I'll definitely have this in the description box. And some of this is prompt and some of this is brain dump. But basically it says, you are a world-class productivity coach and strategist. Take the following brain dump of my tasks and goals and structure it into a strategic action plan. So there's two really cool things that this is going to do. One is that the prompt has us basically asking AI for your reasoning behind things. So we're going to have them take our brain dump and list things into high urgency, medium urgency, and low urgency, and also give the reasoning behind that. I feel like with chatbots, it kind of took my prompting to the next level. It's called like chain of thought reasoning, but when you actually have AI kind of like pause to think before just spitting out a response, the responses are just 10 times better. And then also, just as me as a person, when I hear the reasoning behind things, I can decide to agree or disagree, or it makes me understand more or care more. So I like to know the reasoning behind different things. And then another thing that's really cool about this is it's going to tell us what is our needle mover. So we only have so much time, especially with work and just other priorities. So if you could only accomplish one thing for the rest of the year and you would feel so accomplished, what would that one thing be? So you can decide what that is before you give like your brain dump and this prompt to an AI chatbot. So for me, what was great was I had what my needle mover was, and AI said the exact same thing as my needle mover. So it just felt great, like validation in that sense. If it doesn't match, it's totally okay. What you can do is you can even have a conversation with AI like, hey, I was actually thinking this. What are the pros and cons of making this my needle mover, and things like that before you finally decide on one thing you would be so happy to accomplish. If you're new here, hi, I'm Maya. I'm a tech creator and I'm hoping to one day be your third favorite tech creator. So if you enjoy videos like this, definitely subscribe. So I hear you. That feeling of being overwhelmed by a million thoughts at once is completely normal. The good news is that by simply getting everything out of your head and onto a page, you're already taking the most important first step. I agree. Now let's turn that brain dump into a clear strategic action plan. So then it actually goes, okay, final revisions for Apex Digital Project. Hi. Why? External deadline with a significant client. A delay could damage your professional reputation and income. Makes sense. Open the project file and make a list of the top 3 revisions needed. So there's a lot of things that I love about here. I love how organized it is. So it talks about the task, the urgency, the reasoning for urgency, and then the immediate first step. Why I love the immediate first step is this is something that you could take today. I wanted something that we can actually make progress today to kind of get the ball rolling. Sometimes I get so in my head about things, but when you finally start, it's like, oh, it's chill, it's not that much big of a deal, or oh, I enjoy this, or something like that. So that's why we have each of these different categories. And now, what I really like Gemini is they have this export to sheets. So we can literally just take this, and then now we're starting to create the system of what we're going to do. So, for example, open sheets. Beautiful. This is just my favorite thing ever. So you can actually like start creating a game plan of what you want to do. And you don't have to export anything. You can always come back to a chat. But for the needle mover, I definitely think it's great to like export that one. So let's actually figure out what they have as a needle mover for Alex. It's definitely going to be one of the high tasks. Oh, okay. The single most impactful needle mover is to set up your budgeting app and track your spending. This isn't just about saving money for a trip or for vet bills. It's about building a foundational habit of financial awareness. A significant portion of your mental stress is tied to finances, from feeling the need to get paid quickly, to worrying about expensive takeout and future saving goals. By gaining control over your spending, you'll reduce this constant background anxiety, freeing up valuable mental energy that you can redirect towards your work, creative projects, and personal well being. This one action creates a positive ripple effect, making it easier to save for the Japan trip, afford vet bills, and even improve your diet by highlighting how much you're spending on takeout. Getting a handle on your finances is the first domino that will help everything else fall into place. I love that. I love that it's something financial as well. Just because when you think about the grand scheme of our life, our finances are so important because that's how we, pay for the necessities of food, water, shelter. So I think that's a great one. So if you agree with it, you can go on to the next step. If not, you can have a conversation with AI. So then after, what we're going to do is we have another prompt. I'll also put this on the screen. You can pause it if you want to read this. But now we say, excellent, thank you. Now, based on the needle mover we just identified, act as a system strategist. Design a simple, sustainable system to ensure consistent progress for the rest of the year, from now until December 31st, 2025. So we'll submit this together. Okay, great. So this was financial freedom. So this is saying goal to establish complete clarity and control over your personal finances by year end, leading to a significant reduction in financial stress and a solid foundation for future goals like saving for a trip to Japan. So then it calls it the financial 15, a dedicated 15-minute block of time to review and update your spending. Okay, occurs every Sunday morning. So this is like an actionable step that you can do. Tools required: a smartphone, a digital calendar, accountability, and review. At each week, after you complete your Financial 15 session, place a digital check mark in your calendar on the completed Sunday. This simple physical cue creates a powerful chain of wins. So, this is something that I completely believe in. When I was studying for technical interviews, I just had this huge, basically, Google Sheets actually. And it was like, at first, I felt like I wasn't seeing progress. I was doing all these different technical problems to like review and study, and it kind of felt like I was in the same place. But then after a while, when you see weeks and months, I think I use like green check marks, and then you're like, wow, like, I'm actually seeing progress, even if I don't feel the progress. So I love that we're doing something physical. Whether you actually like print out a calendar and check it off, or if you actually have like a digital calendar, you can also create. It can be as simple as having a Google Sheets, and you can do something like the date on Sunday, like you could put that right there, and then a check mark of whether or not you completed it or not. And you can do this for the rest of the year. And y'all, that is how you make the most of your 2025. It really starts off with starting small. And then as you go on, some of the other tasks that you had that were medium priority or low priority, you can add them in, but definitely start with your high priority items. Thank you so much for watching. I'm wishing you the best of 2025. We got this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.